Hang on, how do I invite people on my feed? Did you put this on my feed?
No, you can share it from the thing, but good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Jeremias Jman Maneiro, JMan Seminars, coming to you live via Facebook with MilleniWHO Talks. We're here with Alexa Sanchez with another MilleniWHO Talks. We're doing, we're trying to inspire others with real stories from real estate rock stars from across the United States. And Alexa Sanchez coming to us from the Pocono region. Good morning, Alexa.
Good morning, J-Man. So two things. I don't know about millennial and I don't know about rock star, but if you say so, we'll go with it.
Millennial is a state of mind.
Then I got it then.
It's the actual, well, we'll just say YPNer because it's right. It's young in age,
young at heart,
and young in the business. So we will forever be young at heart, I would say, right?
Yes, definitely.
All right. So let's just start with introductions. I know you, but for those who might be watching in the future, who you are, where you're from, a little bit about yourself.
Alexa Sanchez from the Pocono region, like you had mentioned. Tons of snow today. School closed. Yay. At least the kids are happy. Young in the business, just under 3.5 years at this point.
Okay.
Started my local YPN here in the Poconos. Founding chair, if you want to call it that.
Mm-hmm.
And what else do you need to know? I'm going after my broker's license soon.
You're going after your broker, man. Okay, so let's start with the beginning, right? So you've been in the business 3.5 years. What made you want to be in real estate? Like, what was it that you said, okay, get into this right now? Like, what was your start like?
So my start was prior to real estate. This is a second career for me. So prior to real estate, I was in corporate America. And when I saw myself climbing that ladder, making tons of money, it was great, beautiful life. But I was working 20 hours a week, 20 hours a day, not a week.
A week?
Yeah, I know, right? I know, 20 hours a day. I never saw my family. Maybe there were times that I would see them every other week. Just corporate life was not jiving with family life. So it was in the back of my mind for a few years to try out real estate. And I just took a leap of faith, quit my job, and got into real estate.
I love that. Like, I hear so many of these stories and it all starts with a leap of faith. It's like, you know what, let's just do this. And then you have no choice but to succeed at that point, right? So tell me.
And I want to match that salary that I was making in corporate. You really have to succeed in real estate.
Right. So let's say, like, that first year, what were some of the challenges that you encountered?
My first year, I started in July of 2014. So those first 6 months, I had one transaction.
Okay.
And honestly, it was very difficult. I did not know about CRMs. I didn't know how to prospect. Yes, I was in sales before. I was in corporate sales, but the prospects came to me. I didn't have to go dig for them myself. And just a lot of trial and error. 2015 rolled by. I said, I cannot keep living off of my savings account. I had to do something. And I had a breakthrough year and just been building on that ever since.
So that helped you get to that next level from 14 to 15, where you said, I got to do something. Like, what was it or what did you do to kind of take it to the next level? I
started networking a lot more, seriously tapping into that sphere of influence, not being the secret agent. Because it wasn't easy. If you're a secret agent, nobody's going to know about you, bottom line.
Right.
So I just said, you know what, I'm going to put myself out there. I did. I made sure I made 5 contacts a day. That old saying, leave your house with 5 business cards, don't come back with any.
Absolutely.
I just started on, just little things like that, attending community events, putting myself out there, and business grew.
So I guess you saw a big difference when you actually started working.
Yeah.
Instead of just Like I know so many people, they start and they sit at their, they sit at their desk and they're like, hello, anybody there? They're like waiting for people to call and say, will you please list my house, or can you, can you
Yeah,
please?
it didn't work like that. I had to go out there and actually, I door knocked in my development. I door knocked. Scary, but it was a learning experience for me. It really was. And all those things, I just started building one accomplishment after another.
Okay, so let's get to the YPN, the charter chair. When we say our founding. That's right. Founding. I don't want to say father because it's founding mother of of the YPN. So is it the greater? What's your board? Pocono
Mountain Association of Realtors.
So PMAR, Pocono
Yep.
Mountain Association. Okay, man, it's beautiful there. So you saw that there wasn't one. You must have went somewhere, and then there was something that prompted you and said, we don't have this. We needed it. Like,
okay, so YPN. If we back up a little bit, YPN. Hold on. Let me back up. So when I started in 2014, right? Yeah, 2014 I started. I went to my first state business meeting in September of 2014. So someone says, oh, you're new to the business. Go to the YPN meeting at the state level. Okay. So I go. I started networking there, started meeting some people. Then from there, I became more involved, and my state wanted to put together a task force for future YPN chapters coming in. Mm-hmm. And they asked me to be a part of this task force because, hey, Pocono doesn't have one. You would have ideas. How would you like the state to help you? And let's put together this guidebook, basically. That took, from there, it just springboarded, you know what? Yeah, let me start the local chair. I have the guidebook. I helped create it. Why not start the chapter? And that's how that started. So I got involved at the state level first before doing the local chapter.
Well, it definitely helped then to have support from the state level. And I know you have a lot of great YPNers in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Like Merlin's one of them, just off the top of my head.
Yeah, Merlin was our YPN chair 2017 for the state. And 2018, I'm incoming vice chair for the state.
All right. Congratulations.
Of course.
So how has that worked for you? How has that helped your career, or like the support? How has that, bring that all together?
So bringing it all together, having that state support and getting to meet all these state young leaders, just business-wise, it didn't take a 180 turn for me to change around my business. It took that 1 degree turn. So I would learn one thing from Merlin. He would say, hey, Alexa, just get out there, just start videos. Okay. I think you also told me to start videos. Yeah. Yeah. Someone else said, hey, just make sure you contact, book 1 listing appointment a week. And those little degrees of change is what changed my business. And then just having that network of YPNers, of people that I can reach out to, people that I can say, hey, they've been in the business a lot longer. They're younger than I am. They're not afraid to try anything new. They've been there. They've done that. Let me tap into that resource. And it came full circle for me. It really did. So I believe in giving it back. Anybody that comes to me and asks for help, I will give it right back.
And does that bring you to like a new position maybe in the future, you thinking?
Something is brewing. I cannot announce just yet, but yeah, something is brewing. Company-wide, yes, something is brewing.
That's excellent. So let me say this. What kind of, like, what's your focus with the YPN locally? Like, what's your mission? What's your, if you say, when my reign is done as the YPN or in leadership in YPN at my local level, like, what will you have hoped to accomplish?
We've had a full year of YPN and we've had a few established events, if you want to say, educational wise, mixer wise, just fun. I want to be able to have 1 more year left in my rain, if you want to call it that. Yeah, hold on. I just want to, make sure that those events that we've established, that the educational component is there, that we stay on the forefront of technology, that we bring that tech to the other realtors, to our community, and that just the next person that comes on just picks that up and makes it better than I could ever have.
Right. There's a hashtag on the national level, replace yourself.
Yeah, I love that one.
Right, because it's instrumental in any kind. You're in leadership. Good leaders help find other leaders and cultivate them and guide them, like you're saying, so that you can take the baton and say, here you go, continue on, so that we can all do great things. Mm-hmm. And so, what kind of challenges have you encountered being a leader? What kind of obstacles have been in your path, on the way up? I imagine being younger and newer in the business, there has to be people that have said you can't do this, or you shouldn't do this, right? But
right.
Tell me about that.
So along the way, I've had, there have been people say, "Oh, you shouldn't. Oh, we tried that," or "That never worked in the past. We're not going to do that. This is how we always do it." Oh my God! If there's one phrase I really hate, is "This is how we've always done it." Like, I don't care if this is how we always done it. Doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean it's effective or efficient. So I've had to just let all that go and learn to put aside those naysayers and seek out the people who want to support and encourage me, and then get those people on my side and push that agenda forward. That it has been rough. I mean, especially when I hear, "Well, you haven't been around long enough." Yeah, so if I'm doing it, why aren't you? And you've been around longer.
Right. I'm going to put this up here. Put aside the naysayers. I don't know if I spelled naysayers right, but it doesn't matter to me.
Doesn't matter.
Put aside the naysayers, because I think being young in the business or young in age, we're going to encounter that all the time, because there is, I want to call them a traditional agent that's been around for a while, and they've been in leadership. And like you said, they say, "That's the way we've always done it. Like, you don't know what you're talking about, kid." It's almost like they treat you like you should be at the the little kids table. This is the adults talking, and like, you don't even know what you're talking about. I mean, I'm sure you've had that moment in meetings, right?
Plenty of times.
So I like your advice. Just, put them aside and just respectfully disagree, right? It's not like we have to have an argument. It's just putting forth our opinions and our.
One thing I've learned is that if you allow them to speak and say, "Okay, tell me why this hasn't worked in the past," and allow them to air that grievance per se.
Oh, I like that.
That's when then you can say, "Okay, but this time we have a new set of people," or "This time around we're trying it a little differently," or "We're trying this tweak. Let's try it one more time. Let's see what happens." Back then we didn't have the social media influence. Let's try it now. So as long as you let them air their grievances, most of the time they leave you alone. But if you don't let them air your grievances, then you're going to get that old curmudgeon saying, "I told you so, it's not going to work."
Oh, that's funny. So I know you're a mother, and if you want to share with everybody, you're how many kids?
3.
3 kids.
3. Right.
What are the ages?
15, 16, and a 19-year-old boy with Down syndrome. So I also have a special needs kid.
So how do you, because I struggle with this all the time, how do you find the balance, right? Because our life is like this, and it's always like family for me is everything. I know it's very important to you. Like on a day like today, you have a snow day.
Right.
Kids are home, your real estate business, do this live video thing with JMan. Like, you got to fit it all in. Like, how do you find the balance? What's your secret? Or is it a constant struggle like me?
I want to say a lot of alcohol, but that's not cool. No. Actually, I have a very, very supportive family. My kids know that they're top priority. So their time is in the calendar. If they need me to be somewhere, it's in the calendar. I will not schedule things on their time. It is difficult. It's not a perfect balance. It really isn't. And anybody that says that there is a work-life balance, they're lying. Because I try to find it. And I mean, tell me the secret if there is one. But time management and time blocking, once I learned how to do that, whoa, it really opened up my day. Because we all have the same 24 hours. And if you're able to block certain things at certain times, you can do it all. You can. So I was able to start YPN. I was able to get into leadership roles. I was still able to stay in leadership within Special Olympics. Real estate is not the only thing I do. I volunteer in the state leadership and local leadership at Special Olympics. It's very important to me to have that time. I'm also a coach at Special Olympics. I coach volleyball. Yeah. That's amazing. Monday nights, that's where you're going to find me, on the volleyball court.
Well, I think giving back, it's one of the core values of the younger generation that we don't, especially that you came from a background where you were that corporate person, 20 hours a freaking day working. And I think probably now you're like, man, I can get so much done because, it's like that way you have the volunteering. But it's a good point that you make about the calendar, because I do the same thing. If there's, like, my son's chorus concert is tonight at 6:30, I'm not listing a house at 6:30 because it's in the calendar. I won't move that for anybody. And I think if you're a new agent watching right now, like, that's important. I understand that when you first start, like, money's important because it's a business, right? But understand that if you treat it like a business, your clients will respect you. If you say, look, I can't do it tomorrow at 6, I have another appointment, you don't have to tell them what it is. It's just,
you don't have to tell them it's family. You tell them I have an appointment.
And your experience, they respect you, right? And say, okay, then.
And I don't work Sundays. I don't do real estate Sundays. That is family day. I go back to New York. I visit mom. We have family dinner. That's Sundays.
That's nice. On a day which would typically be a busy work day for most real estate people, right?
Right. And you know what? My clients respect that. But I tell them up front, initial consultation, you set that expectation. Say, listen, I'm here for you. I will answer texts. I will answer phone calls. But when I'm busy, you will know that I'm busy. And Sundays, don't expect me to call you immediately. You set it up front. And it's.
Well, and I like that, like you said, putting the expectation up front. And if somebody says, well, I'm not going to do business with you because you value family time on a Sunday, then guess what?
I don't need you. Right.
Right?
And that has happened to me. It has. And I don't regret losing that business. I really don't.
I always say this, I said this in one of my last interviews, that when we're on our deathbed, nobody's going to say, oh, I wish I listed one more house.
Yeah.
You're not going to be saying that. You're going to be saying, like, no. I wish I spent more time with my kids. I didn't miss this. I didn't, so it's in the end, family is all we got. But let's say some advice. What kind of advice would you give to somebody who's watching this that's a new agent, first year in the business? Maybe they're at a high-paying corporate job. Maybe they're not. Maybe they got downsized. Either, you have both sides of the spectrum. What kind of advice would you give them to be successful?
Seek out that positive person in your office. Stay away from the negativity. And listen to advice, but put your own spin on things. Everyone is different. What works for me may not work for you. But take my experience and use it in your own way. And just stay away from those old curmudgeon naysayers. That's the best advice I can give.
Be yourself, right?
Yeah, be yourself. Just be you. I know.
Nobody else is taken.
Exactly.
Well, and I know from just knowing you and meeting you and like seeing you, you're the same person online as you are, in person, as you are on the phone. Like there's no facade, which I think that's part of your success, is that you're authentic. You know, showing people your real personality. And like you said, like if they don't like you for who you are, then see you later.
Yeah. Even my kids are like, Mom, you're weird, but we like it.
Yeah, my kids tell me that all the time. They're like, Dad, you are. I'm like, yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
I
you
am.
know what? It's those moments that they remember and they treasure.
Right.
So that's what's important to me. I want my kids to treasure every moment.
So before we go, let's promote. You have a tech fair going on in Pennsylvania, right? Do you have the date on that? Something going on soon?
No, it passed. It was very successful.
On top of it. You had a very successful tech fair. There's another one coming soon. It was the inaugural.
We are setting up another one for the spring.
So, but that was
successful. Actually, we had someone from National come in, a YP International, Mr. Cody Rife. He came in, and he did apps for real estate. Just kind of breeze through a bunch of apps for people to use and make their lives a lot more easier and automate your life as much as you can. We had Chris Stager from Greater Lehigh Valley. He is also in those early stages of starting his YPN, and that was nice to see that he came to us for some help, and then he helped us in turn. So it was pretty cool. He did Instagram for realtors. 80% of his business comes from Instagram. So if you can ever follow Chris Stager, it's a great one to follow.
You know what his handle is on Instagram, or is it just Chris?
I think it's Chris Stager. If not, I can look it up.
Yeah, we'll put it in the comments as somebody to follow on the IG.
Yeah. We also had Kevin Giuliano from PAR. He is the director, digital media director, and he basically kept us legal. He kept, okay, do this on social media, don't do that. It was very informative. And Merlin Weaver did a video for us, uses of video and how it's important.
The wizard.
I
think of him like, I guess Merlin is a wizard in the family.
Yeah.
You know why he doesn't brand that, but he's a great guy. That just passed, but that was something that you wanted to do, right? You saw the need in the market, and you're kind of like, you've been pushing it for at least more than a year.
Yeah.
I would say, right?
Right. And just trying to bring it together was difficult, but we got it done. And after the success, now it's easier to bring it up again. So we had, initially we scheduled for 40 agents. We had over 60 agents show up.
60, that's cool. So that tells them and whoever didn't want to do it that there's a need for it, right?
Right.
Because I know when we did in our market, it was the same thing. We had to do like a proof of concept the first year. They were like, we'll see. And we had like 200 people come, and they're like, whoa, hold up. Maybe this is important.
Yeah, yeah, we didn't accept more people because the facility couldn't hold more people.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. So anything, parting, closing, like here's what I have to say.
I'm not that insightful to have parting words.
All right, I'm looking at a quote that I have on my wall, so I'll share it for everybody. This is from a good friend of mine, Carlos Kong. It says, impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing. The word itself is I'm possible.
That one I have heard I haven't heard that full quote, but I've heard I'm possible in the past. I like that one.
Yeah, so it's I have it here because every day I'm like, oh man, this is, and I go, no, impossible is nothing. Impossible is nothing.
There is one thing that I tell anyone around me, and my kids hear it all the time. Just do you, boo.
I'm gonna go on the screen here. Just do you, boo.
That's it.
An exclamation point. Hold on, I said boo low. Okay. Something different altogether. Just do you. Boo! You're hearing it here first. From Alexa Sanchez. Thanks so much for taking the time out of your day.
Hey, man.
With the kids, you know, snow day. I know my kids hope for a snow day, but they didn't get it.
Oh, well. I'm sure you're going to get some soon.
I hope not. Well, it's like, you know, so we have snow. We definitely have snow. We've gotten like 16 inches in the last, I don't know, 48 hours or something like that. But be safe out there. Keep doing great things. Keep in touch. And thanks again. It's a great day.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye-bye.